What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, the hardest working man in sports and gaming. And it's time for another episode of Ask Mazique. And if you want to be down, tweet at me at Unique Mazique and use the hashtag Ask Mazique. Let's jump into the question that comes from Bullfan86. And he says, is the Hall of Fame, he's talking about the Basketball Hall of Fame, and I'm going to get into that in a second. Is the Hall of Fame criteria flawed? If so, what would be a few prerequisites that the player would have to achieve in order for them to be in the Hall of Fame? So one of the first things I want to talk about is a lot of people don't realize that it is not the NBA Hall of Fame. It's not. It is the Basketball Hall of Fame, which means that any person or player who has contributed to the game of basketball in an extraordinary way is eligible for the Hall of Fame. I mean, everybody's eligible. Those are the excuse me. Those are the people who will get into the Hall of Fame. So that's really important because a lot of times people look and they'll look at their and they say so and so's going to the Hall of Fame. And the first thing they do is they go to NBA.com or ESPN or they go to Basketball Reference and they go looking for their stats. And that's not a horrible thing to do, but if the person may be in the Hall of Fame because of their collegiate career, they may be in the Hall of Fame partly because of their Olympic career, that sort of thing. So a lot of times, like if you think about Carmelo Anthony, right, one of the things that people want to say is, well, Melo never won a NBA championship, and that's true. But Melo has been stellar as a international basketball player. He has already, I mean, he's won 3 Olympic gold medals. So in 8, 12, and 2016, actually won a bronze in 04. He's won a bronze in the 06 World Championships, and he won another gold in America's Championship in Las Vegas back in 2007. So all of that, and the fact that from a professional standpoint, he was one of the most prolific scorers of his time. So it's difficult. It's almost silly to say that Carmelo Anthony is not a Hall of Famer. You realize that Melo averaged at least 20 points a game every single season he played, except for last season with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and of course, obviously, whatever happened with this particular season with the Houston Rockets. So that guy's a Hall of Famer. So I don't know to really get really specific trying to answer your question, which is hard work beats talent. I don't know that there is a specific criteria that you can say. There isn't one because everybody's path to the Hall of Fame could be different, right? So, I mean, like I throw something out there. There's only one guy who's a Hall of Fame eligible player, right? Who has ever been to 8 All-Star games or more, who's not in the Hall of Fame, and that's Larry Faust, right? There's another guy, there's only one guy outside of Faust who's been to 7 NBA All-Star games and is not a Hall of Famer. That's Jack Sigma, right? So you would think if you go to 7 All-Star games, let alone 8, you got to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, like, gee whiz, right? And I think that those two guys should be in the Hall of Fame because of that, but they're not. And Jack Sigma has a ring. You know, I believe Larry Faust has a ring. So it's everybody's path is different. I don't know. Like, I mean, you could try to give some sort of point value to it, right? You could kind of be like, okay, well, Olympic gold medals are worth 15 points. All right. We take your scoring average, almost similar to what I do for the franchise player value rating, right? Like Olympic gold medals are 20 points on your Hall of Fame score, right? And then you take your career scoring average, right? And then you take your career rebounding average. And then you take your assists and your steals and your blocks. Then you take all the individual awards that you may or may not have won, right? And then we consider what you did in college. Did you win a national championship? Were you on an NCAA tournament team? Then you got to look at coaches and you got to come up with a point system. You would maybe come up with a point system for them. But then for other people who are just like contributors type of thing, and like, They never played a game. They never coached the game, but they did something significant. You know, maybe as a general manager or something to that effect. You have to have some sort of point criteria for them. Obviously, it gets really complicated. Like I said, everybody's path to the Hall of Fame is different. You know, so I do like the point system thing because I think it's like this. Like I'm not a person that feels like the Hall of Fame class has to be a surprise, so to speak, right? I mean, to a degree, it's not a surprise. I mean, we knew that when Shaquille O'Neal, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Ray Allen, you know, these type of guys, you know, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, we know that when the first year that these guys are eligible, they're going into the Hall of Fame. We know that, right? Kevin Garnett's probably the next one, right? That we just 100% know, right? I don't think that it would be bad if there was some sort of Hall of Fame criteria set up that says if you have, so like I said, on some sort of point system, and once you hit the 500 level, then you're in the Hall of Fame. You're going to go. Everybody knows. When you're done, you're going to go. Like, would that be a bad thing? I don't think that would be. I think that'd be kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be kind of awesome if that were the case. I mean, obviously, like, you might have somebody that's like borderline or something. Like they're right. They're teetering right there, right? I mean, I think you got to give them some credit for playing games. You know, for seasons, you know, give them like a point or two for just the amount of seasons that they played. Very similar to what I did with the franchise player evaluating. If you're not familiar with that, we'll try to put the link to that in the description. It's kind of what I built my all-time NBA rosters on for NBA 2K. I'm still doing the same thing for NBA 2K19 on PC. Wait for that. It's going to be dope working with my boy Razor. He's the modder. It's dope. So, but anyway, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be, you know, so imagine that, right? Imagine you're watching the NBA Finals, right? And there's a guy playing, and you know that, like, say, for instance, he said, this is my last season. I'm not playing anymore. And he's like 20 points away from reaching the Hall of Fame because a championship would put him over the edge. Like, so say 500 is the number. I'm just throwing something out there, right? And he's sitting at like 480. And whoever comes up with this criteria says, well, winning an NBA championship is 20 points automatically, you know? And so he literally is playing like, he's like, dude, I'm like 37, you know? And if we don't get a championship, I don't go to the Hall of Fame because I'm not going to play enough years because we only get a point or 2 points for the amount of seasons you spent in the NBA. I'm not going to play enough years for me to get close enough to get it just from longevity. And my scoring average isn't high enough, and it certainly isn't going up because I'm 37. Rebounds and all that kind of stuff, I'm probably not going to win any more individual awards. I need to win a championship to go to the Hall of Fame. Like, that would add a whole nother layer, a whole nother everything to what's going on. Like, that's the difference between being like a borderline guy and automatically. Like, when you go to a certain amount of All-Star games, you go to get a certain amount of All-NBA team selections, All-Defensive team selections. I mean, there's definitely a path to get there. A path of consistent excellence to get there without winning a championship, right? So, like, Carmelo Anthony is a perfect example. Olympic gold medals, you know, scoring title, over 20 points per game average, you know, solid rebound and all types of all-pro, all-NBA selections, all-star selections. So there's a path, right? There would be a path. But you'd have to kill it. But then it also would reward some people who maybe statistically didn't do all this great stuff. But, man, I won 5 rings, you know. And 5 rings and good, solid numbers would then, if you designed it the right way, then that would probably get you in. 4 rings and good, solid numbers to get you in. So, I mean, I don't know. You just prompted me to come up with a concept there that I think it would be kind of dope, you know? So you guys let me know in the comments, do you think that there should be some prerequisites or something? Or do you think that that idea that I just talked about would be good for the Hall of Fame, determining the Hall of Fame? I mean, you can add a point value to just about anything you could do, especially for players. You know, for for general managers and stuff, maybe it's not. But for players and coaches, I think you could probably do it. You could probably add a point value. Would you like that, or do you like it kind of being ambiguous like it is now, like, whatever? So let me know, like I said, in the comments. But as always, I appreciate you watching. God bless and peace.
How could I be weak? I'm rather unique.